The invigorated fascists wage a campaign of terror against the workers, breaking up strikes and crushing opposition. Whole cities fall under their control. The Mussolini never dared
We want Changi, Gangu, Gangu.
Nearly like most industrialists would have regarded himself as essentially apolitical or above politics. He's not an ideological animal.
Agnelli never embraced fascism totally. He is on record calling for Mussolini to end the violence in the provinces. What Agnelli and his cronies did was to try to keep Mussolini on the short leash. Then, in October 1922, the leash slips. What happens is Mussolini does give a rousing speech to the fascist party in Naples, calling on the fascists to take power, and there are chants in the room, march on Rome, march on Rome, march on Rome.
And he basically crystallizes while he's talking to these people that the next stage is going to be a sort of push. They're going to march on Rome, they're going to take power, they're going to show this ineffectual liberal government that there is this third force in Italy.
Empowered by Mussolini's speech, thousands of fascists start north from Naples to Rome. You've got 27,000 fascists beginning to gather at all the railway stations going into Rome. And then when it starts to rain and the trains break down, all these fascists are just kind of milling around aimlessly at the stations and wondering what to do. At that point, it becomes a bit of a farce.
Sort of Monty Python parable, because most of the black shirts never made it to Rome, and when they got there, they had no leadership to tell them really what to do, because Mussolini wasn't there himself, and there was no moment where they all got together and sort of marched on anywhere.
Now this is where it could have all ended. Just one decisive action by someone in charge could have called Mussolini's bluff and just faced him down. But what happens is that the king loses his nerve completely, and he refuses to declare martial law.
And instead invites Mussolini to become head of state.
So by the end of the day, fascists are now
For Mussolini, the quote-unquote march becomes a key element in his mythos. A man willing to take great risks, put himself in danger, leading, cheer and wave.
Ooh, that was really funny. I'm just gonna eat my yummy snack.
What we don't know is quite where Giovanni Agnelli was throughout all this. Because once the march
Very yummy.